Hi everyone, welcome. Welcome to the Fibro Mindset. I am your host, Nisi Edwards. And today we are talking about anger. So I want to introduce myself to those of you who don't know who I am. I'm Nisi Edwards and I'm a specialist. I'm a specialist in overcoming a lack of confidence, fear, anger, depression, bitterness, and a negative mindset, all due to living with a chronic illness. And maybe you can relate to that you've experienced all of these things and more. So, on this channel, I'm here to encourage you, motivate you to be positive about your pain and your past. Your past does not dictate your future. We may have a chronic illness, but that does not mean that that's going to rule our life. That doesn't mean that that's the end of the world for us. So I want you to realize that through it all, it can be used for good in helping people overcome a multitude of illnesses, a multitude of issues, as well as depression. I mean, it's all about using your skill sets, what you've been through, your knowledge to help others move forward in their lives. It's all about throwing the rope back to pull somebody else forward that can benefit from your experience. So I was thinking about that today because this is the month of June, June 2nd to be exact. And June is the month of June is the anniversary of when I had to stop working in corporate America. It's the anniversary of when I became so sick that I had to stop working due to chronic illness. And I had to stop working due to chronic illness, and also the perfect storm that led up to that was bullying. And I wanted to share some information with you all on bullying, as well as anger, because when I was bullied for 2.5 years, I had a lot of anger that stemmed from, number one, I didn't receive the support that I needed to get help to deal with the situation. I worked in corporate America, and my senior management team could care less. They chose to ignore it. And although they chose to ignore it, and I was trying to deal with it to the best of my ability, it was really affecting my health in so many different ways. And as a woman of color, I was trying to figure out the best way to deal with this because I didn't want to put a label on it. I felt that I was being discriminated against, and I didn't want to use that. I wanted to find other ways of dealing with this, to try to be reasonable, to try to come up with a solution. And being reasonable really isn't a good word to describe it. I basically was just trying to figure out, okay, for me, how do I move forward? How do I get the help that I need? I don't want to be labeled as just a black bitch that's whining and complaining. I just wanted a solution. I just wanted to be treated with respect and dignity, just like the next person. But when you're a woman of color and you're in corporate America, sometimes it feels as though we're walking on eggshells. Because number one, you want to keep your job, right? You want an income, you want to be able to provide for yourself as well as your family. And at the same time, there is a certain conduct, that's a code of conduct that's required of you when you work in corporate America. And I find that ironic because many of these companies, it's a code of conduct. They expect you to behave a certain way. But yet, the people that do the bullying, the belittling, the people who disrespect other people, who try to tear them down in their spirit, nothing ever happened to these people. They seem to get away with it. And bullying is the use of coercion, force or threat to abuse, aggressively or dominate or intimidate. This behavior is often habitual, and it was definitely habitual. I mean, I dealt with it for 2.5 years, and I had a lot of anger. I never lashed out. I had a lot of anger, and I held that deep down inside of me. And there are health problems with anger. So, health problems with anger, the constant flood of stress, the chemicals and associated metabolic changes that go along with unmanaged anger, they eventually cause harm to your body as well as to the different systems of your body. And so I wanted to share this all with you today because I did some research on it. I mean, I've lived it, so I can really write my own book on this. But some of the short and long term health problems that have been associated due to unmanaged anger include, but are not limited to, the following: headaches, digestive issues such as abdominal pain, insomnia, increased anxiety, depression, high blood pressure, which is a silent killer that can lead to heart disease or stroke, skin problems such as eczema, heart attack, and stroke. That is me. I experienced all that and a whole lot more. I experienced that. In fact, it got so bad that I had to be taken from work twice by paramedics. And it was the last time I went to the emergency room. I had a great ER doctor who shared with me that the company that I work for, if I was to mention the name, many of you would know who they are because they have a lot of television commercials out there. But I'm not going to call the name, but what I will say about them is that they're toxic. And the ER doctor said to me, Nisi, company you work for, they're very toxic. It's a very toxic working environment. And I see your coworkers in here all the time. Same symptoms as yours, except you're so stressed out. You're here because we thought you were having a massive heart attack. He says you're under so much stress and you have a chronic pain issue. You need to get some help and you don't need to go back to work for them anymore. So this is the anniversary of it. And this month of June. And that's when it all unfolded for me when I stopped working. So I thought about that today. And sometimes when June comes, because this anniversary goes back to June of 2014. So I get sometimes still anxious when I think about it, or teary-eyed, because I think about the toll it had on me, the changes that I had to go through to deal with all this. And I will admit to you, I no longer work there, but it's still tough. It's still hard. And I've learned to work on my anger, and the anger stems from you're trying to do the right thing, to be respectful, to do your job, to go to work, where people are still trying to abuse you. And it just gets to the point where you just get sick and tired of being bullied. And people really need to be careful messing with people, trying to bully them, because number one, you don't know how close anyone is to the edge. So if you're that person that's out there bullying people because you feel intimidated by their knowledge, expertise, or education, or for whatever reason you just decide you're going to just pick on somebody because that's a way of trying to lift yourself up in the process by trying to tear someone else down. If that's the type of person you are, you really need to get some help. I wasn't raised that way. I'm the type of person, as I mentioned, I'm a specialist in overcoming. I was raised to respect people, to respect my neighbor, to help you out any way that I can. And so this was an assault. This was a mental as well as spiritual assault on me, the bullying. And it's something that I'm still dealing with. But I wanted to share this with you. If you're dealing with anger, you really need to get a grip on the anger, because the one thing that I learned is by holding on to the anger, you are still giving the people who were bullying you power over you. They no longer have any power over me. I'm free from that. I no longer work at this company. Thank God, hallelujah for that. But I'm in a better place. I've learned so much on this journey. I've written a book about my experience that's soon to be released, and more information is coming on that, so please stay tuned. But if you're dealing with anger, I really want you to take care of yourself. If you're being bullied, I want you to get some help. If you're being bullied, I want you to document everything that is happening to you. Because if it continues and it gets worse and you have to take legal action, then you have some notes. You have documentation. You need to be in a place where you don't have to worry about trying to fit in. It's not about belonging. It's about accepting diversity. It's about being respectful. A lot of these companies, diversity is a big problem because people are afraid. People are afraid of people that don't look like them. They're afraid that, oh, if we hire this person or that person, they know more than us, we're going to lose our jobs. That's really stupid because no one person knows everything. There's always going to be someone else who may know a little bit more than you do about something. Rather than trying to destroy that person, it should be about learning from them. And that's what's great about diversity. When you work in a diverse environment, you can help one another for the betterment of the company. But I've learned when you have a chronic illness, employers, I'm not going to say all, but there are some who don't care about their workers. They don't care about their workers at all. There are many people who have come to work and literally died on the job. They left their blood, sweat, and tears there. Thankless companies who really don't care. So if you have a chronic illness, my advice to you is to take care of you. Do you. Get some help. If you're being bullied, learn from me. Get some help. Get an attorney. Okay? Document your experience. If you're dealing with a lot of anger, talk to your EAP, employee assistance, professional counselor if your company offers them. See a therapist. Talk to your rabbi. Talk to your minister. Talk to your priest. Get some help because when you don't get help and you hold all this in, it will affect you. It will destroy you. So I'm a specialist in helping people to overcome. If I can help you in any way on your journey, if you're dealing with bullying or anger, reach out to me. The details underneath this video will tell you how to connect with me. And I look forward to continuing this discussion. And I would like your thoughts. How do you manage bullying? How do you manage anger? Let's have that discussion. Because I'm here to tell you that it's all about getting help for you. I don't know how close you are to the edge, but get some help. I don't want the stress of anger to destroy you. Get some help because oftentimes people who are dealing with anger issues don't get any help or support. And when you're being bullied, those individuals that you look to help you deal with the bullying, sometimes they're silent and they don't care. Bullying, we talk about all the time how it's affecting our children, which is true, and that should not be occurring. But bullying also affects adults as well. Look at it this way. These young children of today, the ones that are victimizing and bullying the other children, guess what's going to happen, you guys? These young bullies are going to grow up to be adult bullies. That's where it started from. They need some help. The parents also need some help to deal with that. As well as corporations really need help in helping their employees deal with the effects of bullying. So take care of yourself, get the help, and thank you for checking out today's video. Be blessed.